if you refuse to eat your spouse's or wife's food, as in you are doing that consistently, yes, and you are doing that to punish her, yes, one way or the other, then you are committing domestic violence or abuse, which the law recognizes.
Oh, yes, definitely. Definitely, because, especially under emotional
I'm not
abuse.
happy with you. I don't want to eat your food. What?
So it depends on the facts of the case. For instance, if probably you are with your partner and you think genuinely, not just assumptions, but genuinely you think that there are issues such that you don't trust your partner, that your partner might poison you, it's a different thing. You have a good case. Okay. But not for one reason or the other. Maybe your partner caught you with some unfriendly text messages, or saw you with somebody in a compromising position, and maybe the person raised issues, and as a result, you want to counter by, pretending to be angry or being defensive, and then all of a sudden you stop eating the person's food. There might be genuine reasons. For instance, maybe you close late at work, you get home late, you don't want to eat because when you eat, you might be putting on weight, or it's not good for your health. You need to communicate to your partner and say, you know what, don't cook for me. I can take breakfast, but don't cook for me because I will close late. You don't allow the woman or whoever cooks at home to do all the cooking, leave some for you, and then you get home and you say, oh, I will not eat.
So for refusing to eat by way of seeking to punish your partner, and through that, you are making your partner constantly unhappy.
Exactly.
Then you are getting into domestic violence.
Exactly.
Okay. Musamed, thank you so very much once again for making the time to join us. Yes, please unmute. Great. I can hear you now.
Hear me now?
Yes, please. Yes, please. We can hear you.
Okay.
Great.
Right.
So when you look at the law, it looks like it catches just too many situations as domestic violence, which is punishable under the law for up to a fine of up to 6,000 Ghana cedis, or alternatively, prison terms of up to 2 years, or a combination of a fine and prison terms. When you look at it, does it sound to you that it is too skewed to, as it were, against the men?
Your last statement.
Does the law appear too skewed against men?
Well, it may appear to be so. For me, I have a problem with the definition as captured in, I think, is section 1B, 2 and 3. The ones dealing with economic and
emotional and verbal psychological abuse.
You see, under Chapter 5 of the Constitution, we have fundamental human rights, which is entrenched. And the enjoyment of all these fundamental rights are subject to such laws as contained in Chapter 5. If you look at the freedom of a person, you can call it the husband. If you look at all the freedoms as entrenched in Chapter 5, and then you look at the definition of marriage, the rights of spouses in a marriage, I don't think I would agree with the lawmaker to insert in a provision that says that when you refuse to eat your wife's food, you should be punished. It is wrong. It is wrong. The marriage system should be such that a woman should not be reduced into cooking for the husband. Both parties should have the right to come and cook their own food, eat their own food, and enjoy themselves as husband and wife. So to say that when you refuse to eat your wife's food or a wife. Normally, they narrow it down to a man refusing to eat his wife's food. For me, I disagree. Because as I said, the Constitution has provided fundamental freedoms, rights to every individual. You must enjoy those rights subject to laws that are provided. I haven't seen subject to marriage laws or subject to Section 1B of the Domestic Violence Act. I think that act contravenes Article 5 of the Constitution. That is my opinion.
Well, it's already law. It's already law, and it's been law since 2007. Until anybody has challenged it in the Supreme Court, it remains the law.
Yes, until somebody has challenged it.
Right.
I'm only expressing my view,
That's
but
right.
that is the position of the law now.
Right.
And this is a discussion for us to tell our various views about the law.
That's right.
My position is that I disagree with that position.
Right.
You see, people are making a whole lot of cases out of it. I don't see how, as a man, having been fed by my mother, having been brought up by my mother, suddenly I find myself in a marriage, and then the wife tells me that if you don't eat my food, it is an offense. It is domestic abuse. It is violence against me. It is emotional stress. I don't think so. I think the marriage arrangement should be such that both parties should be free to either decide to eat the food prepared by one spouse or cook your own food and eat. But don't limit me and force me to eating somebody's food. Don't you think that when you force me to eat my wife's food, it is an infringement of my constitutional right as enshrined in Chapter 5? It is.
So
and
in a situation...
The Constitution is a supreme law. Any law that infringes any aspect of the Constitution shall be void.
Right. So
for me, I disagree.
All right. So in a situation...
One should not be limited to cooking alone.
That's right.
There is no law that says that a woman should always cook for his husband.
That's a great